Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. The German Republic is falling apart, or maybe it has fallen apart a long time ago, and just now the mainstream is picking up on it and it becomes apparent in everyday life for most of the people. Forgive me this provocative title, but I think it is an accurate description of reality in Germany right now. And in this presentation, I want to tell you exactly what I mean by that and also go over the news from the last weeks since the breaking up of the traffic light coalition, the Ampel-Koalition, between the Social Democrats, the Green Party, and the so-called Liberal Party FDP. But before we really get started, I want to take a second to thank my supporters and my subscribers. If you like my videos, share them, like them, and subscribe to my channel. You can also support me via Patreon or Subscribestar. Alright, so what is the situation that we are in right now in Germany? Well, from my recent videos this year, you know that the AfD has scored a lot of victories in central Germany, and especially the Liberal Party has been losing in those elections greatly. According to the federal polls, they would not even make it over the 5% hurdle that is necessary as a threshold to overcome if you want to be represented as a faction in our federal parliament in Berlin. And the reason for that is quite easy to understand. It is a self-styled liberal party. Their voters are dentists, lawyers, people who make more money. They tell their voters that they are pro-free markets and for lower taxes and a smaller government, but in fact, they were enabling the red-green parties, their two very socialist communist coalition partners in Berlin, in enacting communist-style globalist legislation in Germany, such as taxing the air and raising our taxes, demanding people to put ridiculous insulation systems and heating systems into their homes, bankrupting a lot of businesses with high electricity prices and huge labor costs. And that is not something that just came up because the economic situation is like that right now. Other countries are booming right now. It is really a homemade German problem that comes directly. It can be directly traced back to communist policies, which I explained in many videos. Just go through them if you're interested in that. That put a lot of pressure on the FDP leadership, and I predicted that several months ago, of course, already, before the elections in the East already, and I told you, well, the coalition in Berlin will not survive until Christmas probably, and see, it happened just this way. I explained to you how this happened in one of my last videos, where a proposal of the FDP to get rid of some very questionable communist legislation was publicized, maybe intentionally, maybe accidentally, I don't know, who cares. And that led to Mr. Scholz, our chancellor from the SPD, firing the liberal finance minister, Mr. Lindner, who is also the head of the liberal FDP party. This basically meant that the coalition was over. Then a lot of blaming ensued. The liberal party said that Mr. Scholz planned all along to break up the coalition. And then recently now a paper again was publicized that is called the D-Day plan of the Liberal Party, where they apparently for month or for a long time already strategically planned how they can provoke the other two parties in order to break up the coalition. Well, and this is now the big scandal in Germany, so to speak. How can they be so dishonest and lie about this in public? Well, I don't care. Let me be very frank right now. I don't like the FDP. They are a fake liberal party. They have always been enabling communists, and they were always, just fake. They always say that they are for lower taxes, small government, and even fewer migrants here in Germany, but they never deliver. What they do is always the opposite. Just like the CDU, they say one thing and they systematically deliver the exact opposite together with communist parties, and then with bread and circuses they make sure that the masses don't remember in 4 years anymore when the next election is around. So I really couldn't care less about the FDP, but the scandal is not that they broke up the coalition this way. The true scandal, I think, is that they didn't do that 3 or 2 years ago. Why now? They did that for all these years, all these communist policies. Why only now? That is what I would criticize them for. Okay, so why is the republic now falling apart? Isn't that just a normal government crisis? No. Germany is completely leaderless. If we were a ship, the helm and the bridge would be unmanned, unoccupied. The officers left the ship. Nobody is here to give people direction and orders. This is not very often the case in Germany. I mean, Angela Merkel was a horrible communist. I mean, she was, her dad thought that Stalin is the good guy, actually, brought the family from Hamburg to the east just after World War II. And so she was raised a communist. She was rising through the ranks in the communist system, educated in Moscow, active as an elite player in the communist youth organization. The way she was running Germany was, of course, in the fashion of the Soviet Union, not like a Western or Central European liberal republic at all, but at least she provided a sense of security, stability, and direction, and that is missing right now. And as I already hinted at, that could be an opportunity for our people right now. Order out of chaos, chaos is a ladder, etc. I think we just have to realize what kind of situation we are in and act accordingly. So, but now let me give you some examples what I mean. What is this headless, this leaderless condition that we are in right now? So, for example, there was a lot of back and forth about the date on which our Chancellor Olaf Scholz should ask the Parliament for a vote of confidence, and then a certain time after that we would be ready for new elections, snap elections that are ahead of schedule, of course. According to schedule, it should have been October or something, autumn next year only. So Mr. Scholz wanted to wait until March, I think, and now he was under a lot of pressure. Why wait that long? We should have that earlier. And I think on December 16th, he will ask for a vote of confidence in Parliament, which he will lose, of course, I think. And that would make the way free for new elections then, I believe, in February. So the 23rd of February, that is what I read, would be the date for new elections. Maybe people wanted to hold on to these cushy jobs so their pensions would have been higher, whatever. But that just goes to show that at least for German standards, this is a very chaotic time. Maybe in Italy that would be just another Tuesday, but for Germans this is highly unusual. And then the argument why Mr. Scholz wanted to wait so long came then by the Bundeswahlleiterin, that is a federal officer that is responsible for organizing elections. And first, her office said that it's not a problem to have early elections, and then maybe Mr. Scholz and the SPD intervened, and she said, well, it is really hard and a big problem to get enough paper ready for all the ballots and organize the printing process. We're not able to do that. And then she declared right away that this is coming out of her own office. Yeah, the chancellor did not interfere whatsoever. And the fact that she said that so clearly, of course, makes me believe her very much. The German paper and printing industry then weighed in on that and said that we have enough paper and it's not a problem at all to have these elections. We can give you as much paper as you want and as you need. And even Poland, our neighbor, jokingly said, they wanted to embarrass Germany a little bit, of course. Maybe we can help with a emergency mission to Germany with emergency paper deliveries to make re-elections earlier possible for Germany. Wink, wink. So this is all telling me that they are the Weimar Republic without them telling us that they're actually the Weimar Republic. And of course, we see the usual stuff also in addition to that right now, is that a lot of loyal followers of key politicians in the communist, SPD and Green parties, they are getting promoted right now to higher positions in our public sector, permanent positions connected with high pensions, of course. And also the head of our secret police, he all of a sudden wants to be a candidate for a seat in parliament as an MP now, where you just see how impartial the head of our secret police actually is. Also, something along similar lines, the head of a very leftist media outlet that always denied having ties to the Green Party or to the current government is now helping on the campaign trail or during the election campaign for the Green Party, of course. So now under these turbulent conditions, a lot of things that we have been saying all along get revealed for everyone to see. But, well, if we look at the polls, we can see that unfortunately a lot of, especially, I guess, very old people in Germany, they don't really understand these news, I think, or they don't care, or, well, let's just say not enough people have realized yet how bad it really is. Let me remind you, our industry, our economy is collapsing. More and more companies are moving abroad or shutting down altogether. Unemployment will go through the roof. We have the big liability of having to host and entertain a lot of military age young irregular travelers right now, which becomes a large budget item for us. At the same time, our tax money is wasted by giving it away freely to foreign mafia organizations of many different kinds in many different countries. We always say it has to get worse, it needs to get worse before it can get better, especially with these very bovine German voters, I think, at least in my personal opinion. And well, we are on the best way, on the direct path to exactly that scenario, where it gets extremely bad, and let's see what comes out of this. So I try to keep you up to date. Maybe in my next video I talk a little bit more about the economic side of things again. Yeah, let me know what you think about that and what is going on in your country. Always interested in that. So long, Servus, Kameraden.